Hey everybody, welcome back to Off the Couch with the Psych Guys. I am Timothy Meyer, joined as always by Dr. Constantine Lukin.
Hey guys.
How are you doing today, Constantine?
We're doing good. We're doing well. I want to put you right on the spot here.
Okay.
And ask you, why is the world so depressed? I mean, I understand that the wars are happening, but overall, I feel like there's just this doomsday feeling that we have. Not only feels like definitely as a nation, but just like it feels like it just bleeds out everywhere.
Yeah, like feels like everyone's unhappy.
Yeah.
No one feels great.
Right.
Everyone has like an issue, like stressed or down or pessimistic or negative. Yeah, it's like across the board.
And just there's a statistic came out that with all the mental health and all the help and all the suicide went up.
Yeah, everything continues to get worse.
So
if
it's
you look at
just
the
like,
data.
first of all, feel great about our profession, by the way, as a side. We're doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
What is up with the world? Maybe Earth is depressed? Like, what is the issue?
Yeah, I was just saying, if you look at prescription medications, they're through the roof. Rates of depression, mental illness, it's all going in the wrong direction. So like, what is the problem?
Right.
Just one.
Just
one
something.
thing?
If you could, I mean, obviously, there's a million different reasons. But if you could just do, what do you think would be the number one way that we can get out of this shithole?
We're always. So this is gonna be hard for me to put into words, but hopefully it comes out okay. We're always moving towards comfort, right? Like we're always doing something that makes us more comfortable. We avoid, challenging feelings.
Right.
We avoid challenging things, and we just drift over into what's easier and more comfortable.
Right.
And so,
So you mean, are you advocating for getting rid of drive-thrus?
well, no.
No, I am.
But
It's just because you can't get out of the car just to get some steps and exercise.
I mean, but I mean, think about it, right? Like we have these phones and we have the internet and we're constantly all connected to all these sorts of things and we're constantly kind of just like drawn towards something that is like from a hedonistic standpoint, like going towards pleasure, going towards comfort, and avoiding discomfort. And I think that basically like in a nutshell, that's a problem, because I think that struggle is really, really important.
Right.
Like we grow because of struggles, right? No one's ever accomplished something amazing and was like, oh, like that was super easy. No, like it's always hard. The thing that you're proud of is something that was like challenging for you to do, and challenging is uncomfortable, and uncomfortable we try to avoid. So we avoid all of these discomforts and all of these challenges, and we sit in our little comfort zone. And I think that we get like really complacent and used to that. And then our just resilience just goes down because we're not used to overcoming challenging things.
I hear you.
And then so when there's a little bit of a blip on the radar, it feels truly like a big deal because we haven't been uncomfortable really like at all.
I love it. I love it. And again, because it's, to me, comfort again makes your life smaller. I have Uber deliver my McDonald's. I go to Starbucks. I don't even get out of my car because they could give it to you, in the drive-through, right? You have Netflix, which you watch all the time, right? Like there's obviously social media, and to me, again, just it's so constricting when you're thinking of it that way.
And I think that it happens that it's happening all the time, right? So whatever, I'll go off on a quick rant here. It's interesting, like even with like kids nowadays, I feel like these like helicopter parents, like they want to like fix everything and do everything and all of this sort of stuff. But a part of me, wants to remind everyone of this term that I really love, which is called optimal frustration. Right? It's important for, like, let's just say for a kid to be frustrated with, figuring out their puzzle, and that frustration is actually really good. But if mom comes over and like fixes it right away, then there's not that optimal frustration. And I think that if we live in that like comfortably uncomfortable zone, that's actually how we do our best, right? We're supposed to be stressed. We're supposed to have negative, hard air quotes there, feelings. We're supposed to have challenging feelings. We're supposed to overcome them and get through them. And that's what makes us better and resilient and better at dealing with stress and yada, yada, yada. But I think that so much about our culture, our society, our world, technology, it just goes completely against that. And we take the path of least resistance. And I think ultimately it makes us all more depressed and anxious.
Oh, no, I hear you. I mean, the idea, what you said, just makes so much sense. If you have less resiliency, right? If you always got your coffee in a drive-thru, and the drive-thru is closed, and now you have to park and go inside Starbucks, right? That's going to be stressful for you because you never did it. Yeah. Right? Or getting on an airplane. Like if you've never flew anywhere, like for you at 35, it's probably going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
Right? Like just so to me, again, it's just pushing that envelope, being able to be uncomfortable. I always love what you say, you know, when people say, oh, I want to move away from guilt and shame. I remember one time we were talking, I said, like, what are you talking about? Shame is awesome. Gets you motivated.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, oh, wow. I talk about a light bulb moment. I was like, shit, that's true. It's okay to feel bad about yourself. Just let's use it to feel better. Let's not get stuck in. I'm not saying like just chronically feel shame, but if you feel ashamed or guilty, it's probably you want to kind of move past it, do something about it.
You want to lean into it.
You want to lean into it. Oh shit, I want to lose a couple pounds, or I want to eat healthier. I want to get that degree. I want to get that girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever the case may be. So I just love. To me, it's always negative emotions are just guidance. To me, it doesn't really matter if it's positive or negative. It's just guidance. So use that guidance for what it was developed to give you guidance.
Yeah. So that's my answer.
Right. Okay. No, I love it. I love it because I think the more resilient we are, the more likely we're able to manage unpredictable stress that comes upon us in whatever the situation is. Or, you know, obviously there's just so much turmoil in the world. Like, how do we manage that? I know you and I on a different podcast talked about how that's affecting us on a very kind of anxiety, nervous system kind of basis about everything that's going on. Talk about threat and safety and all sorts of things. But I love it. The more resilient we become, the easier things are in our lives.
Yeah, and we have to be put in uncomfortable situations to bolster it.
For sure,
right?
For sure. Even you could be somebody going off to college.
Yeah. Yeah, right?
You know, that's in itself already an experience.
I mean, if you ask me, I think that everyone could look at their entire day.
Right.
And like really look at it like from that lens of like avoiding discomfort or, you know, going towards pleasure. And I think it's a good mental exercise for people to kind of check in with.
I love it. And if it's incredibly difficult, one thing I was thinking about, then you may want to think about if there's some sort of traumas in the past that make it really difficult to go into that space. So that's just something to consider. It's like, well, it's like uber difficult for me. Let me think about why that would be. Maybe there's something in the past that needs to be uncovered and dealt with. Sure. But otherwise, the goal should be really, how do we push ourselves? How do we push ourselves? Little bit at a time.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I think that is really if on a micro level can really easily extend to macro.
Mm-hmm. All right, now I'm same question. What did you ask me? Why is everyone so
depressed?
Why is everyone so depressed?
Yeah.
What would you say?
I would say my favorite thing, and what I try to teach the kids is the reason why we're having so much trouble is victimhood mentality. Like you're a victim. People too much. To me, a lot of the things are finger pointing, right? Like it's that whole expression. It's not you, it's me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm. But it's the opposite. It's people spend too much time saying that that's the problem. He's the problem. She's the problem. The government is the problem. The world is the problem. The universe is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
To me, this idea of ownership or displacement of ownership of responsibility is a big thing, because you can't talk about, again, small world. If everything is around me is at fault and I'm a victim, my life is super small.
Yeah, it's almost like being in that headspace or mindset that like life is happening to you.
Right.
Like all of these things are happening to me, and I'm just a victim of all of these circumstances that I can't control.
Right.
And then you're just left like hopeless, helpless, and powerless.
Well, for sure, because if everybody outside of you has all the power, then first of all, everything is threatening.
Uh-huh.
Everything is controlling.
Yeah.
right? Because if I have no power or agency,
Yep.
right? Talk about like locus of control, like who owns the control, me or the external world.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, if the external world, if my friends, my girlfriend, boyfriend, my family, my job, everything just basically just owns me.
Yep.
Right? I'm just kind of like plugged into the system and I just get marching orders. That's going to be very challenging. So to me, again, that victimhood / blaming mentality is how people get stuck. And there is no way to feel good if you feel like a victim. I just think that those so incompatible feelings because if you feel good, by definition, you have some level of control.
Yeah.
Or at least over something.
Yeah.
And if you don't, on a minor level or major level, that's really going to make you unhappy.
Yeah.
So to me, with that is a significant problem. I feel like if people would own more of their own shit, if people focus on like, okay, maybe I would even give you, maybe there's 95% in your day that you can control.
Yep.
Fine. It's hard to believe, but fine.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have 5%. Focus on the 5%, and tomorrow make it 6%.
Yep.
Like, I just don't, like, to me, it's such a major point because I cannot imagine how you could be happy or fulfilled with a victimhood mentality. And when you're on the opposite side, it feels so empowering. It feels so much that you could do things. Your life is open. You have a good amount of control over how things transpire in your own life. And if you don't have that sense, it's so easy to me, it's so easy to start wars. Internal, interpersonal, behavioral, right? With anybody, because like, oh, now we got to fight them.
Yeah.
Now the establishment is at fault.
One question that I love to ask, and a lot of people hate to be asked, is, what part did you have to play in this?
Oh yeah.
What role did you serve in this?
Right. Yeah, people
Not love to hear that question.
They don't love to hear that question. I think if it's served well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
if it's served well, it gently starts the journey. But again, it's a very challenging. It has to be asked at the right time, and the person has to be somewhat open. They have to feel almost exhausted with how much victimhood mentality. They have to say like, oh shoot, I don't know. It's just like nothing is under my control. Everything is terrible. So our job here is to try to be able to help. Wait a second. Wait. Let's try to reorganize. Let's at least, my favorite thing to do is like, well, okay, fine. Let's things out of control. Let's survey the things at your disposal. And by that I mean like literally a 360 eval of yourself as an individual. Your physical health, your physical attributes, your medical conditions, your financial, be it if you have $2 in your bank account, any education that you have, any interpersonal social supports that you might have, right? Just, it doesn't have to be anything, but we have to start somewhere. So if you have $5 in your bank account, you have one acquaintance, you're, let's say, somewhat healthy, and you have diabetes. Okay, all right. So, and then you finished high school.
Yep.
All right. So we got that.
Yep.
We got that.
And
Let's start using that to start moving forward. Fine. Let's find you a job at local store.
Yep.
There's always trajectories how to move up.
Yep.
So that's one of my favorite is like, let's get down to like, even if you have $2 in the bank account. Okay. So we could start there.
Yep.
Right. And to me, that's already grounding. It's empowering. This is what I could do. Of course, things like, oh my God, it's not as good as others. This is terrible. It's someone else's fault. Sure. I hear you. Right. To me, acknowledging validation is like a big part in this because, yeah, sometimes you're right. Sometimes something did terrible happen to you.
Yep.
And you have every right to feel some sort of way. And also, since we only have $2 in the bank account, how do we make it $3?
Exactly, right? Moving that focus from all the things that we can't control over to the things that we can control.
Exactly.
And boy, do our brains love to focus on all the things that are out of our control.
For sure. Because to me, as much as it's distressing, to me it's such a delay tactic.
Oh, completely.
So okay. So maybe this individual, this entity, this government, maybe they are at fault.
Yep.
And?
So what?
And what are we going to do with that, right? You want to run for Congress, you want to become a billionaire and make changes in life? Sure, great, God bless, but let's keep going.
Where are our feet right now, and where's our next step?
Exactly. So to me, it's like when we are able to do that, at least get oh yeah, you're right. I'm not in terrible health. My, let's say, diabetes, it's managed. I take the medication, and I'm good. I do have $5, okay. So I have some education. Let's see what I could do with that, right? Small instrumental movement forwards, I think is such an important part, because we could talk about whose fault it is until we're blue in the face, right? The media makes a huge living out of that, right? If you think about it, that's what they do, right? It's their fault. I wish there was like maybe something we could start, like, how about we start owning shit, like have a media outlet where people talk about, yeah, it's my fault. Yeah,
Yep.
I messed up. I voted for that bill, but it wasn't a great one. My bad.
It's on me.
It's on me. I learned from it. Next time I won't do that because of X, Y, and Z. Wow. Oh my God. Talk about a statesman.
But then after that, there's nothing left to talk about.
Exactly. And that's why, to me, this shift gets people to ruminate less.
Yeah.
To feel uncomfortable emotions less, and to actually feel empowered to start moving their life forward. And that's on a micro level, macro level, however you want to look at it. That would be, because then you're owning your shit. Then I like to say, you're standing on if there's a divider line, like you're on your side of the street, and they're on their side, so we can have a conversation. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, if you're not owning your shit, then we can't have a conversation, because it's your fault, my fault. Okay, and right, and so. People don't often like to hear that, but it's exactly, to me, it's always like, if you don't want to hear something, that's probably you need to hear that. Yeah. It's probably something that you may want to consider. So to me, empowering yourself to start doing a 360 eval of the things that you have that you can use to feel control over, you have agency too. Even if you have a friend that you speak once a year, you have agency and control, meaning it's inside of you to pick up the phone and call or text. Obviously, in today's world, nobody calls, but let's text.
Yep.
Hey, what's the word?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So to me, that's such an empowering thing to be able to do.
I like it.
Yeah. All right, guys. So if you want to heal the world, listen to Tim and Constantine.
There you go.
Take their two cents on sort of how we would do it. And hopefully we're also embodying and empowering others to be able to do it here at the practice, or just like whenever we're able.
Yep.
All right. Awesome. Thank you guys. Take care.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.